Hello and welcome to Access Sportsnet. Lakers driven by your Southern California Honda dealers. Chris McGee, James Worthy, Robert Ory, Mike Bresnahan. Lakers are in the playoffs. The drunkest game of the year. Felt like nobody wanted to win at times. Ends with a Laker win in OT. They were down 15 in the third. They rallied, outscored the Timberwolves 29-16 in the fourth quarter and in overtime. And the hero was Dennis Schroeder. He had his playoff redemption game. If you can remember, and we talked a lot about it, back in 2021, it was Dennis Schroeder who had the terrible Game 5 in Phoenix, left the bad taste in everyone's mouth, had 0 points, was 0 for 9. He was the hero tonight, Big Game James. They don't win without Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah, I mean, Dennis Schroeder was clutch tonight. When they needed a big shot, he was there. Defensively, he was there. That drive LeBron made and drew the defense in, that big shot from the corner. Free throws. Defensively, you know, he was extremely solid tonight. And I think without him, I'm not sure if the Lakers could have pulled this game off without Dennis tonight. Sloppy game, Geeter. It felt like we'd lost, and then we appealed the game and we won. It was just really weird. I didn't like the way we played, and I'm glad we got the win. And I'm happy that they were able to play the defense that they played down the stretch in order to secure the win. They make some really dumb mistakes down the stretch. I did not like this. I did not like this game at all. I know we won, but it was just if we're gonna proceed and go further, we can't have these type of games. We just can't. I mean, I'm glad we won. I hope people don't think I'm, too spoiled, but it was just an ugly game. Unnecessary turnovers.
I think fans appreciate it. I mean, they had 21 turnovers. And listen, in my notes here, if the Lakers had lost, there was inexplicable possessions down the stretch in the fourth quarter. It was as ugly as you can get, Rob, with mistake after mistake by both teams. Until Mike Conley hit those 3 free throws, the Wolves had 9 points in the fourth quarter. I mean, it was ugly on both sides.
Yeah, Ant-Man didn't play well for them. Towns was in foul trouble. If it wasn't for, those guys, like you said, with Conley coming out, knocking down shots, the Lakers probably could have won this game easy. But that's the thing about you. If you watch the Lakers defense, and I want to say something about Dennis Schroeder, though. He turned his ankle, and we thought he was done. This is like 3 or 4 times this year that he's gutted it out.
Yep.
And so I know a lot of guys would have laid it down. And it's a lot of guys would be like, oh, I'm not 100, I'm not going. Not Schroeder. Schroeder plays hard, he goes out and got the job done. But he was on the defensive end, they was on offense. But think about this, I said this before the game. You got to respect everybody on that basketball court. And the Lakers didn't respect those guys. They respected Towns, they respected Ant-Man, and they didn't respect Conley because, a lot of times guys are 35 years old, they're in the playoffs, but the guy is a vet, he's smart. But
you've been there before.
These other guys stepped up. And I hope this game teaches the Lakers that these guys are in the NBA for a reason.
Yeah.
Respect everybody, play defense. Think about that one play. I ain't going to call his name, but he didn't go out and guard the guy who hit a 3. Then the next play, Schroeder was out there and made him put it on the floor and cause a turnover. Those are the plays like that won't show up in the stat sheet, but they're very important because every possession counts in the playoffs.
Darvin Ham, a couple weeks ago, said of Dennis Schroeder, he's on a minimum contract, but he is not a minimal player. I mean, the guy absolutely saved the Lakers season. Lakers did not want to have to play a game here Friday, a do-or-die game against New Orleans or Oklahoma City, teams that they had beaten in the season series, both those teams. Lakers had to get out of this game. Now, they get to rest till Sunday. The defense saved them. Like you said, James, tons of mistakes, tons you can pick apart. Mike Conley made a 3 with 6 minutes and 1 second left in the fourth quarter. Minnesota didn't have a basket the rest of the fourth quarter.
Crazy.
I mean, I'm sure they were a little tired, but I'll tell you what, I was at the Laker game last Friday against Phoenix. 4 starters sat out for the Suns. A lot of talk about fatigue after the game. LeBron said, I'm really happy we're going to have tomorrow off. So did AD. So you have to wonder if maybe this team's a little tired. We saw some of that tonight, especially in that fourth quarter with some of the carelessness. They've been grinding for 2 months, trying to get to this point. Finally, they're in the playoffs. They will be the 7th seed. They're playing Memphis this weekend. It's just taken a lot to get this far. And I think a little bit of fatigue probably seeped in there tonight.
Brez, how much money does Dennis Schroeder make?
About $2.5 million.
$2.5 million. He was a man without a team.
Yep.
Looked great over in Europe. You actually watched him. Darvin watched him. The Lakers watched him. He has a relationship with Darvin Ham, and he felt he had unfinished business with the Lakers. Came here. He delivered on the big stage. Let's go back downtown. AD is with Mike Trudell.
All right, AD. Well, you guys got it done in the end. Just to get it out of the way, right? You foul Mike in the corner here. Obviously, just trying to contest the shot. What happened on the play? Did you get cross-matched somehow?
No, we were doing a cover where we were switching everything before it came in. Call red on Braun. That was totally on me. My brain fart. Then tried to close out on Mike. He caught it in the corner and faded out of bounds where I was going. But it goes back to the next play mentality. And we got it done in overtime. So got a couple of days off, but it's a battle. It was fun, but my brain fart at the end almost cost us the game.
Well, but you ultimately get the job done, right? You get into a first-round series. You're going to go take on Memphis. 80. Right around the trade deadline, you were 6 games under 500. What did it take to make this kind of a push to now secure your spot in the first round?
Grit, toughness, urgency, effort, resiliency, everything. It took everything out of us to, get to where we are. Took more out of us tonight. But we get a couple days.
Hey, careful, Austin.
Yeah, right. We get a couple days before we go to Memphis to start preparing for them. It's been a battle. It's been an up and down season for us, but now it's the time to show who we are. And we showed it tonight. Down 15, 18, whatever it was, just one possession at a time, came in, played some defense. I think we only held him until I fouled Mike to 10 points in the fourth quarter. So we got back to it defensively. Overcoming all our turnovers and our bad plays and our brain farts on the defensive end and offensive end, we're still able to pull it out.
That's one for you. It was actually 9 points in the fourth up to that point. You were the biggest reason why. Inside, outside, everywhere defensively. You said that's the place where you think about most. How did you end up getting that done when things were just not going your way as a team tonight?
I think to start the game, Cat got going. I think just my pressure on him. I think he had, 24. But 22 at the end of the third or mid of the third or whatever, offensively attacking him, all of our guys to get him in foul trouble, coming in, sacrificing their bodies, and then just being physical with him, and it kind of set the tone, took Ant out the game. Mike Conley played well, Torrey and Prince, everybody played well for them, but, the two-headed monster we kind of took out and made other guys beat us, and, we should have had it in regulation, but, it took another 5 minutes to do so, but, my job is to lead this team defensively, and that's what I wanted to do, and it kind of got us going.
All right, get a little rest and then off to Memphis.
Yeah, thank you.
It's funny. I think we're all very excited that the Lakers are in the playoffs. That's where you want to be. But this game is big game. Hit it on the head. It's kind of tough to wrap our hands around because so much happened in that last, fourth quarter and into overtime. I think we have to talk about that foul. I mean, you're up 3. AD runs out at Mike Conley. I had flashbacks to the Maxi Kleba foul on that Friday night with Dallas. But, you see the switch here. It gets kind of lost. And then big game, you can't run into his airspace. I know he tried to stop.
You can't get close.
You can't get close.
If I'm AD, I'm going to stop 3 feet right there and go out of bounds with my hands up with a big hey. It's not even going to be close. And, how he got open, I know there were some picks involved, but when you know that they need a 3, you got to guard the 3-point line. It shouldn't be that hard. Zone up and give anything within the 3 and just don't allow that to happen.
For me, I am not questioning what coaches do. But for me, I know they needed a 3. I'm not having 80 in the game because he's a big. We need littles to switch either because littles are more used to switching than bigs are on that. And that was one of the ones where you went up there and you saw him.
He zoned up. He zoned up.
And it's just a natural thing for a big. Right there, you got to have littles in. And that's just something I would have did. I'm not a coach, but I'm just saying.
Put him on the ball.
Yeah, it's something you have to look at. Yeah, put him on the ball. It makes it a difficult pass. Yeah. We can question that a lot. And I know a lot of coaches prefer the bigs on the ball to make it a difficult pass. But, it's the moment. AD is one of your trusted guys, and you have to have that. But to me, this whole game was filled with mistakes. I know we're going to point out this mistake, but there's the inbound on the ball to LeBron where he didn't come to it.
So many.
Then he got a foul. And then you got another inbounds.
The one that LeBron threw to D'Lo.
Yeah, and then you got all the bounce passes by their ankles. It's a multitude of mistakes, but we always focus on the last shot of the game and the last mistake of a game. And we can't because it's so many other ones that we should say, that happened, that happened, that happened.
There was also some frustration down the stretch. You know, Cat had 5 fouls. They weren't trying to get him in pick and rolls. AD, big game, you were kind of going crazy because he hadn't touched the ball for a while.
I know in the overtime and in the fourth quarter, I was looking at the chart sheet, and he hadn't touched the ball until around the 9-minute mark. He got an offensive rebound, a putback, the Schroeder miss, and then that lob pass over the top. And they got back to being very stagnant, and LeBron isoing out on the top. I mean, that's the guy you got to go to. We talked about it pregame. We talk about it every game now. AD has to be the force. He has to demand the ball. And for him not to touch it down the stretch, I know Schroeder was doing his thing, but he had a mismatch. And he collects fouls when he gets down there. And we needed that. So, I don't know. Brez, I hope you're right. I hope they were just mentally fatigued and get this behind them. But it was an ugly win. It was an ugly win. I don't feel good about it.
Yeah,
Glad we got it, but it was weird.
Yeah, there was a big headline in the LA Times the other day. You know, the Lakers too tired. You know, question mark, question mark. There's definitely something to that. I do give Schroeder a ton of credit, no doubt about it. And AD with the quote of the year in his walk-off interview with Mike Trudell right now, his little interview, said, "My brain fart almost cost us the game," and he's right. You know, he's right. And it just happened a couple weeks ago against Dallas, too. That's the other thing. On a positive note, you know who's not happy that the Lakers won this game? The Memphis Grizzlies. All right, the Lakers beat them 2-1 in the season series. AD had 30 points and 22 rebounds the last time the teams played each other last month. So I don't think the Grizz are really happy that Minnesota lost this game. You know that they're probably still awake out there in Tennessee, hoping that the Timberwolves and all their team turmoil that we saw on display 2 days ago, they were going to somehow sneak this win out. But now it's the Lakers coming. And I think it's a bad matchup for Memphis.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
For me, when they talk about fatigue, I think it's a bunch of crock.
Well, aren't the Timberwolves tired too?
Yeah, because every team has played 82 games. You know, we've had more injuries to our stars, so that's less games they're played. So when people say it's a cop-out to me, because you're a professional athlete, you should be in shape, and this is what you play for. You know, I know people always say, "Oh, yo, Rob, you don't play until the playoffs." Hey, because the playoffs give you that extra energy, that extra adrenaline to push you over the edge. If you don't have that, you don't deserve to be on an NBA team. You don't deserve to be in the playoffs. And so the mental fatigue part to me is a bunch of crock, and I don't buy it. You just got to come out and play hard. Schroeder didn't look like he had, fatigue. Rui, all these other guys. So don't use that as an excuse. I hate when people use that as an excuse.
I don't think it was them being tired, guys. They played tight. And the Timberwolves played better than them. The Lakers did not defend the three well. The Timberwolves played for, almost 3 full quarters, way better than the Lakers. They were plus 27 from 3 at one point.
Yeah.
Big game, James. The Lakers were turning the ball over. So it wasn't until the Lakers made that run when Cat got his fourth foul.
Let me say something else. Yeah. And if you watch their offense, they talked about it in the show, how they was moving and cutting. And the Lakers are like this, standing in the corner.
Yeah.
And then they go to set the pick and roll. The Lakers was running to each other offensively. They looked like bumper cars out there. It was not a smooth offense. There was so many mistakes. They got to clean up because this team is good. This team can beat Memphis. This team can go far in the playoffs. But they can't use excuses to go far in this game because you don't have time to excuses. You had 82 games to make excuses. This is the playoffs. There are no more excuses left.
And they are in the playoffs.
Yeah. And by the way, one last point here. Lakers, there will not be a flip of the draft pick. They get to keep their draft pick. They will have the 17th overall pick on June 23rd. Why is that? They're going to have a better record than New Orleans.
So New Orleans is not getting Wembanyama.
Yep. They're not going to.
The Lakers have the second worst record.
I've been waiting to say that one.
Oh, that's interesting.
New Orleans could still be, they might still be in the lottery in New Orleans.
Maybe we'll go back to Twitter and check some of those receipts from October when New Orleans fans were celebrating because the Lakers had the worst record in the league.
Yeah. Lakers are keeping